Learned. We've all seen the desert burst into life after a bit of rain. So while I was on a road trip, just to see what might happen if I brought it home, well, things got completely out of hand. I added water, not expecting much on day one, but just 24 hours later, we already had this. A microscopic water flea. I think so, at least. Maybe one of you guys might know. Anyway, his name's Frank. Say hi, Frank. But seeing as we already had something grow from this, I decided to keep the experiment going, to see if we'd get anything else later on. But then, I spotted something else right behind Frank. I had also hatched his worst nightmare. A 300-million-year-old apex predator. A literal living dinosaur. Okay, let's call him Tank. But keeping a prehistoric predator in a kitchen bowl came with a dark reality. I looked closely at the water and realized Tank wasn't alone anymore. 2 more eggs have just hatched. I got another one. Yes! He devoured both of his new siblings, right in front of me, just like that. I had to act fast, so I scooped out Frank and threw Tank into solitary confinement before he could destroy anything else. And I guess it's a good thing I did, because 3 more triops hatched. Kyle, Susan, and Jerry. Meanwhile, Tank had been sitting in his solitary confinement with absolutely nothing, so I added some fine sand to his bowl, and his old instincts kicked in straight away. And I was literally feeding a dinosaur with my pipette. How cool is that? I was pretty much obsessed. I spent every day for the last 2 weeks crushing Cuttlebone for calcium, feeding them protein, and siphoning their poop 1 millimeter at a time. But with 4 dinosaurs growing fast, they need more space. I had an older tank that was just sitting around with overgrown plants in it, so I decided to cut it all back. And got ready to move Kyle, Susan, and Jerry into their new home. Please be okay. That's not good. Why is he doing that? Why is he spinning? Okay, I need to get him out. Kyle and Susan started spinning out of control, and I was scared at this point, so I pulled them out. I monitored Jerry's behavior, and he looks completely fine. Eventually, he flipped onto his back to molt. And I found out if you touch them while they're trying to molt, it is basically a death sentence, so I just left him be. But the next morning, is he alive? Is that his... Oh no! Jerry was gone. I tested the water parameters, and everything was normal. I figured it might be some old detritus stuck deep in the sand. So to be safe, I replaced it all. But the sand wasn't the problem. Because when I reviewed the overnight footage, a bloody snail would not leave him alone. He tried to escape, but it followed him like an annoying sibling. The constant harassment completely exhausted him, and he just didn't make it. But fear not, the colony survives. We still have 3 triops left. Okay, I think these guys are ready to go in. They seem all right. Oh, look at him go! Kyle and Susan were thriving, so it was time for the ultimate test. To bring in Tank. Okay, come on, Tank. They actually attacked him. Look at that, they've developed their own little cult.
How funny is that? Here's me thinking he's gonna destroy them, and look, he's hiding.
Because the other 2 were picking on him, I was worried he wasn't getting enough food. So I decided to step in and hand feed him myself. Yay! But Tank wasn't the last pet to be added to the aquarium. It was time to bring in Frank. Whoa, there's so many.
Oh my God, there's a triop in there! What? How?
He was either an egg in the dirt or in the old wastewater from the other bowls. Either way, this sneaky bugger hitched a ride. so let's call him Timmy. But we can't put Timmy into the main tank yet because the others will absolutely devour him. So for now, he's going into Tank's old bowl. However, Frank's flea army is ready to go in. Tank immediately went for Frank. As I thought Frank was now gone, with Frank off the menu, Tank gave up and settled for a leaf. But you literally can't have 5 seconds of peace in this tank. Out of nowhere, Kyle swooped in and tried to mug him for it. Remember the snail that tormented Jerry? Well, Tank just found their eggs and seems to be enjoying them. But the craziest part about all of this, they were still just babies. With an endless supply of food and a massive new home,
they were about to hit a huge growth spurt. Every day they were getting a little bigger.
They aren't massive monsters just yet, but they are finally big enough to identify.
Triops mauritanicus. Mauritanicus. I mean, they look very similar.
They both have that pointy carapace at the end and the mottled coloration as well. Anyway, if you guys think I'm wrong, please let me know. To me, it looks the same.
Triops mauritanicus. Bro, why does it look like you're in a radiation wasteland?
So after doing research, apparently you're only meant to give these guys spirulina when they're tiny babies. But I've been giving it to them literally every day. So yeah, my bad. 1 giant bowl of green soup. I've done a quick partial water change and it seemed to help. Anyway, I was eating breakfast and I noticed Tank following Susan around like an absolute creep. I honestly thought he was just trying to steal her food. But boy, was I wrong. Just 24 hours later, Susan is pregnant.
Right here, you can see her pouches are totally full of eggs.
And now she's tearing up the sand just to find the perfect spot to bury them. You know, this whole crazy journey started with a scoop of dry dirt. Going from tiny mini Franks to giant living fossils. It's hard to believe nature hides so much life in a pile of dirt, but if you ever need proof that life always finds a way, this is it.
If you want to see Susan's eggs hatch and find out if Tank behaves himself, drop a like and subscribe to the channel.
Don't forget to share this video with a friend who'd love to see a 300-million-year-old dinosaur hatch from a pile of dry dirt.
We have a whole colony to raise now. Make sure you stick around so you don't miss the next update on our little prehistoric family.